was going to the bash, late one June.
Never been here this early for a bash. It's Thursday. It's actually about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And there does not appear to be anybody here in the, well, not a lot of people here in the parking lot. We'll see what we see. We're going to walk into the Marriott and see if there's anyone setting up. Like I say, never been here this early before. Kind of a different feel. And it's a windy, dramatic day. Very cool. Cool vibe. All right, 2 o'clock on a Thursday. Open for business. And I've got my bag. And this year we've got, we'll call him Big Frankie guarding the fort. There's a sneak peek into the atrium area. And the same area from the left. Those are the desks where Dan from Zandal's Zombie Hut usually sets up. And here we can see the area where the monsters that Mark and Diane Mazerzak set up will be located. And here's a little later in the day. That, of course, is Bill Heinzman, who I've met in the past in an earlier bash. The cemetery ghoul. That's Eric from the film Murders in the Rue Morgue, which is a central feature of this year's June bash. Not only is the film aired, but two different historians and writers are going to be speaking, giving little presentations on the film. And there's the part played by Bela Lugosi himself, shortly after playing Dracula. There you can see the great Basil Rathbone in the role of Sherlock Holmes in The Scarlet Claw. Boris Karloff. And there's Bela Lugosi once again, maybe in a, I don't know, maybe just a little bit more well-known role. And me hamming it up with him. And now we're back in the atrium. It's later in the day. Things are starting to open up a little bit. But I'm, of course, interested in checking out the movie room. And later in the day, they do end up showing some films. I think It Came From Outer Space was aired. At this point, they're just doing a sound check for a Zoom call the following day for a gentleman who is going to be doing a talk on Murders in the Rue Morgue. And of course, it's evening, waiting for the next day and the bash to open. And yes, I could actually hear that from up in my hotel room. All that wind's gone. Sun. Absolutely pristine. Beautiful day. Friday at the bash.
Oh, wow. Cranberry was there, but I didn't know.
Heading into the movie room for the opening ceremony.
Hi there, and welcome back to Monster Bash. It's our June show. We're going to do it again. And I noticed in pre-sales there are a lot of newbies. Do we have anyone that's never been at Bash before? Right there. Welcome back. Yeah. Well, if you love monster movies, I think you're going to have some fun this weekend. And a lot of things happened at this bash. Butch Patrick just jumped on board. You probably, if you followed on the internet, we were happy that he was touring around the Dracula car around Pennsylvania. And he called me up and said, "I'm in the area. Can I do bash?" I said, "Sure." Why not? Absolutely. So we're happy to have Butch as a late addition. Kathleen Lee Scott, who was supposed to be here.
And while I feel bad for the Dark Shadows fans, I was delighted that we were going to get surprise guests in the form of Kathy Coleman and Wesley Year from Land of the Lost.
I'll be there. So she'll be here in October as well. So we got a lot of great things going. Well, that's enough talking right now. Let's get to monsters we've known and loved, and let's get to a monster bash, and let's have some fun this summer and be a kid again, okay?
First vendor we're going to see here in the atrium, of course, is from the basement, who supplies my reading material for the bash, and at a very reasonable rate. This vendor, Taylorama, had some of the most amazing three-dimensional printed images I've ever seen. The video is not doing them justice. These things were incredible, and they were not just in small size. They were in, maybe had to have been 11 by 14, maybe larger prints of lobby cards and of posters. Absolutely fantastic. Next, we have the Den of Debauchery, and right away you see up top something that caught my eye, and that's the Godzilla that was released about the same time as the Shogun Warriors, and about the same scale, and it is kind of one of my long-term goals to add to my collection. But this is what really got me: Land of the Lost board game, and I found it fascinating that this booth was set up directly next to where Kathy and Wesley would be setting up a little bit later. I kept on meaning to stop back and see if anyone actually picked it up to get it signed. And here is Daniel Roebuck, who is I guess the best thing to call him would be a professional monster kid. He's one level above us or several. I love those. They reminded me of the old Marx monsters, about the same scale. Just wonderful stuff. He's a guest there to get things signed. He's been in so many different movies, but also just wonderful products. This is the poster room, and believe it or not, all the bashes I've been to, I never went in here before, but it's a little different this year. The thing that drew my eye immediately were all these comic books, and they basically range from, I would say, about mid-late 1960s all the way up until about 1980 or a couple years into the 80s, which is my time for collecting comics. Dagar the Invincible, one of my key issues for my own personal fandom, if you will. But I originally saw this. I saw all these books, and I said, what a wonderful basically display. I thought this was just basically hands-off display showing all these comic books from this era of about maybe 10, 15 years, which I think probably is the comic collecting era for a lot of bash guests. But in fact, they ended up being for sale. The prices were on the back. Had I only known, maybe a couple of these might have been coming home with me. All right, just coming into frame now is Dan of Xandel's Zombie Hut and his wife. Lovely man, one of my favorite vendors. Unfortunately, he fell about a month before the bash and broke his hip, and that, on top of some other health issues, long-standing that he's had, has made it very difficult for him this year, and he has decided to hang up his cape as super vendor, and he will be missed. I sincerely hope he will come back to the bash as a guest.
I played Hercules. I call myself son of Herc. I'm one of the Herc's unknown, great grandsons or whatever, and I'm called Rock. But I'm the son he didn't admit about, or the one he forgot about, by one of his spawned by one of his ghoul fiends, whatever. Herc, he was a real man, He had a lot of women. But anyway, so I did a thing called Rock, the unknown son of Hercules, and he battled Gator Man, he battled Dracula, the Mummy, but I haven't edited it yet, right?
Okay.
But in the scene in my backyard, I let my beard grow, I let my hair grow real long, and I had my shirt off, and I say, "The sons of Hercules will prevail, and we will always have victory."
Awesome.
Just look, David Rock Nelson as Son of Herc on YouTube.
Kidney stones took them out.
And then Grumpy the dinosaur goes.
Love them, and they were happy to see that photo of my daughter holding a couple framed portraits of them from a few bashes ago. Once I saw the Eddie Munster monster bike, I knew I needed that one. I'm going to hang it up on the wall next to a photo of me with my old Schwinn Stingray. But let's take a look at Butch's other ride. Maybe I'm just a little jealous. Every kid who's ever had a Hot Wheels can't help but fall in love at this point. This is those little toys come to life in full size. What a fantastic vehicle.
You are extremely important, and I'm so excited that you got a segment where you're going to show old clips from your show.
Yes,
When is that?
that's going to be on Sunday when everybody's gone.
I wish your show was broadcast where I'm from in Buffalo. Are you still doing live shows, or is
Yeah, I mean, you can watch me on the internet every week.
Okay. All right.
Go to sonofgold.net.
Okay.
.net. Sunday nights, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Click on live stream. There it is. My station streams their channel.
Okay.
And it's free. It doesn't cost nothing. Sunday nights, 8 o'clock Eastern time.
Beautiful. Well, that's my Sunday night plan when I get back to Buffalo.
You're cool?
After I've watched your show with the clips. I love you. I'm so glad you're here every year.
Well, thanks,
Thank you
man.
for coming.
Thanks.
I'm gonna take that off you in a little bit. You want to sit? Sure.
There.
Here we go. That was a-
I remember the first time I saw Night of the Living Dead. It was at a comic book convention at the Airport Holiday Inn in Western New York. And I was probably about, let's say about 13, maybe 12, 13, 14, somewhere around there. And they screened a 16 millimeter print of the film. And I sat there in rapt attention, scared out of my mind. Never had seen a film like it. And boy, did it stay with me. And I feel a little bit like I've come full circle watching this in a small room, a 16 millimeter print.
They ought to make the day the time changes, the first day of summer.
What?
Well, it's 8 o'clock and it's still light.
A lot of good the extra daylight does us. Now, we've still got a 3-hour drive back. We're not going to be home until after midnight.
Well, if it really bugged you, Johnny, you wouldn't do it.
Hey, come on, Barb. Church was this morning, huh?
Johnny,
You're still afraid.
stop it now. I mean it.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Stop it! You're ignorant.
They're coming for you, Barbara.
Stop it! You're acting like a child.
They're coming for you. Look, there comes one of them now.
Great movies, great stuff, and making new friends. And I think I met one during this bash. This is John's table, and he had two of the top 5 things that defined the Monster Kid era. He's got Aurora model kits, and most of these are the glow in the dark from the very late 60s, early 70s, and he has Super 8 and 8 millimeter
Wish
films.
I was a millionaire. You'd be going home with a lot less stuff.
I got the projector to show it too here, Doug.
Oh, that's a beauty. I used to make Super 8 films back in the day, so I had a lot of Super 8 equipment. But about 2 years ago, I went on eBay and I finally found, it's not a good one, but I found the projector from Famous Monsters. The one they used to
That
sell
only
back.
took 200. That only took 200 for capacity.
Right.
That takes
I think it's the Thunderbird, something like that.
Would it have like a 50-watt lamp?
My crown, the one thing that I have of these that I really, I'm so fortunate and so happy that I got, is I got a Super 8 copy, or it might be 8 millimeter, of Equinox. You familiar with that film from 1971?
They only made that in Super 8 silent.
Then I have Super 8. I got that. I couldn't believe I found it.
Yeah, I'm kind of into the botanical ones. I'll show you. I like stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Botanical
Yeah.
ones, yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
Jeez. Oh, such a terrible monster, but such a absolutely wonderful stuffed creation. Oh gosh, your stuff is quite the something.
Thank you.
I wish the Beulah was still here because that was absolutely fantastic.
I can make you one.
So, do you have a card?
Yeah. Right now I'm on Facebook and email. This is partially to so I can save up to actually get a website.
Right.
But yeah, I take commissions. Anything you've seen on Facebook, I have an adoption album of the stuff that's available right now.
All right.
I'm going to be moving shortly where more things will be available because a bunch of my patterns ended up in storage and I can't get to them.
All right.
When I get those again, there'll be more stuff because I actually make a very nice Mothra.
Oh,
I am
wow.
very proud of my Mothra. She's gorgeous.
Wow.
But that's one of the patterns that ended up in another state.
So, did you do well this weekend?
Yeah, pretty well.
Yeah, I'd imagine you would. This is very,
Yeah.
very cool. Very cool. All right, one more close up and. Oh goodness.
That's Reptilicus.
Oh boy. So I'm gonna ask how much.
Right now it's in prototype stage, so it's 125.
Okay.
When I get the pattern firmed up, it'll be 150.
And how much was the Beulah, by the way?
Beulah's 50.
50. That's very, very reasonable.
Come on now.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This table had some really, really nice stuff from the classic era of Monster Kids. You can see the games, you can see the model kits, you can see some of the Marx figures there. But wait till we round the corner. And pow, Azrak Hamway 8-Man, which I just bought one, that exact model. sans the clothing about 6 or 7 months ago. The Great Garloo.
Great Garloo. That's the best, absolute best. Fantastic.
Happy to have this guy here from Cleveland area and Ohio all around. It's legendary TV horror host, Son of Ghoul.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, anybody have any trouble finding a seat?
There are a lot of fantastic horror hosts down through the years and still today. And depending on where you grew up and which one introduced your horror movies on a Friday or Saturday night and stayed with you deep into the morning hours, you're going to have your own favorite. Son of Ghoul was not my horror host. Buffalo did not have one, at least not when I was a little kid. But I'll tell you what, ever since I've been going to the Bash, I've been picking up DVDs from him, and he just has that certain something. Try him out if you haven't already.
Thanks.
Folks, that's a wrap. That's the June 2025 Bash. If you liked what you saw there and you enjoyed the video, think about watching my Bash video from last October. There's a whole lot more on my channel. It's much longer and maybe a little bit more involved. And I will be back doing a video for Cheers. The Pulp Fest in August, and again for the October Monster Bash. And if you still, you need something more right now, there is a companion video to this one showcasing all the loot that I bought. Cheers.
Creepy classics that we